All right, so let's now try to pass this set of tokens that have 1 or 2 characters. So let's do something similar to this. So let's make a little bit of a helpful delineating comment. Number literal and 1 or 2 character tokens. So there is a few. So let's just say if current character equals this guy, then we have to look at the next one. So we can, I suppose, advance, so we consume it. Then we say the next one is the one we're currently looking at, and if the next character is equal to this guy, then we can consume it, and we can say, let's make a token of the type bang equal. Otherwise, we don't consume it. We leave it for now. I think then we're gonna return a bang, but perhaps we shouldn't. It's gonna give us some issues. So let's try to do this. That already failed because here we are trying to peek. So as always, we need to say if we're at the end, then we can return this one. So this stuff always goes together, but it's different what we return. Anyway, so we get a bang equal. Actually, what are we doing in the REPL? Because I would like it to print something different. REPL blah blah blah. So I suppose it's that function. No, run. Debug is off. So why is it actually printing? Go back here in main. There's the compile, which will tokenize, then compile to bytecode. And the tokenizer shouldn't print anything. Ah, okay, it's printing stuff. It is printing the lexeme. What if we also print the type? Then it doesn't do anything. Right, because that should be down here. Okay, so now we can see. But if we do something like this, that is clearly wrong. Or we can do anything and it will go into some kind of loop. So there's an advance here. But that's okay, that shouldn't be a problem. Here we don't consume it. And this is wrong, it shouldn't be bang equals, it should just be bang. Because then I do it like this. Okay. Let's try this. Let's try this. Okay, so there's an error. If we put some other character. And what is the error? It's not getting any lexeme, which is quite bad. It looks more or less correct. So what's happening? Why isn't it? This should not be triggered. So it goes into here, it goes into here. It should never match, so we don't consume it. That shouldn't. Then we should go here. So we actually never advance. So maybe we need to advance here to consume it. So a little bit weird, but okay. But anyway, you see the problem that we can make an input like this and it partially passes it. We don't want that. We want to say else if xjar equals space, then we do that. Else we will return, let's consume it, and then we return an error like that. So this should work, that should work, this should work. That doesn't work because we don't handle equals yet. Because there's also a 1 or 2 character token. But anyway, if we do this, it returns an error. Fantastic. So this is a lot of code that we now have to duplicate. Like this. That also works. So that's a problem. So actually we have to say if we are at the end or the next one equals a space, then we return this. Otherwise it is actually an error. And we can consume it. Okay, so that works now, and we kind of have to do the same here, right? So if we're at the end, or the next one is a space, then we can do that. Otherwise, we can consume it and make an error token. So let's abstract this. And let's say it's like, I don't know what to call it. Probably it should return either a token or something to indicate that it failed. And it should have, let's call it initial, next, and initial type, which is a token type, and next type. Because then we can say, if this equals the initial, then we return the initial type. If this equals the next, then it is the next type. Next type. Here is again the initial type. Cannot spell, cannot type. And I think that's fine. And here, if there's some kind of problem, we or if we don't match at all, then we just skip. So now we can say compound match this one and try that one next. Bang, bang, equal. And it will be token and okay. If okay, return token. Then we still gotta repeat this a lot, but at least it's a bit more compressed. And then I suppose we're gonna make a table like this again. Compound. There's gonna be a token. It doesn't really matter what we call it. We're never gonna look at it again. But let's say initial, next, initial type, next type. And it's gonna be something that is a bit tedious to write out. It's gonna be compound token. And at least there's only 4. And it makes you wonder if there's some, they all can match with equals after. So perhaps there's some smarter thing we can do here. But there's no way to construct this, and let's leave it for now since I already typed it. All right, so we gotta say initial next initial type. Can I say using? Is that a thing? Then we gotta say token okay is a match to initial next initial type next type. And then if okay. If okay, it has already advanced everything, so we don't need to do that. We can just return. So we have to trust that this one is consuming tokens. Let's see if we kind of bugs we made. Okay, this using stuff. Right, we also need to supply current character. And here we have to, did I write compound jars? That's wrong, it should be compound tokens. Okay, everything still kind of works. Should be an error, should be fine. All right. So that's very nice. Class, we do need, sorry about that. So then maybe we should try now to match a string. So if the current character is equal to quote, then let's advance, let's consume it. And then we're going to say for, and we actually have to look at what we have now. Then as long as it's not equal to this, we're just going to advance and peek. And now actually here, if we are at the end, we have to return an error. And we can add a to-do here, that says make a good error message. But then we look at the next one. If it's not empty, then we continue. If we now reach the end, again an error. We look at the next one. Now, eventually, it will be a quote. So then we can consume the quote, and then we can make a token that is a string. Okay, I was very, very confident on that. Because this should be this. There we go. It compiles. Let's see if it works. Nice, very nice. If we do something like this, it returns an error. And we should be able to put anything in here and it won't care. And indeed it doesn't. So I think that's where we're going to leave it. The tokenizer is almost done. So yeah, I'll see you in the next one.